Welcome back to Basic General Knowledge Voice Podcast. Today we're diving into something that's literally keeping us alive right now, blood.
Rachel, I've always found it fascinating how this red fluid does so much more than we realize.
Indeed. And what's really mind-blowing is that we have about 5 liters of blood in our body. That's like 3 big soda bottles.
Right, and it's not just a simple liquid, it's like a well-organized transportation system with 4 main components: plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets.
Those red blood cells are quite the workhorses, aren't they? They make up about 45% of our blood and carry oxygen all around our body.
And get this, our bone marrow produces about 2.4 million red blood cells every second. That's absolutely incredible.
And each of those red blood cells only lives for about 120 days before being broken down. It's like a constant cycle of renewal.
You know what's really cool? Blood actually changes color depending on oxygen levels: bright red when oxygenated and dark red when it's not.
Speaking of interesting facts, let's talk about blood types. Most people know about A, B, and O, but there's more to it than that.
Oh yeah, the Rh factor. That's what gives us the positive or negative part of our blood type, like O plus or O.
And type O negative is especially valuable because it's the universal donor. It can be given to almost anyone in an emergency.
While AB positive is the universal recipient, they can receive blood from any type. It's like having an all-access pass.
The whole system is just remarkable. And what's even more impressive is how our blood vessels could stretch for about 100,000 kilometers if laid end to end.
That's like wrapping around Earth 2.5 times. And speaking of vessels, the smallest ones, capillaries, are so tiny that red blood cells have to go through them in single file.
Amazing how nature designed such an efficient system, isn't it? Our blood even helps regulate our body temperature and fights off infections.
Absolutely. The white blood cells are like our body's personal army, constantly patrolling for invaders and protecting us from diseases.
And don't forget about platelets. They're the emergency response team that rushes to any injury to stop bleeding.
It's incredible how all these components work together seamlessly to keep us alive and healthy.
Could you imagine if we could actually see all this happening in real time? It would be like watching a perfectly choreographed dance inside our bodies.
Nature really is the ultimate engineer. Well, that's all we have time for today.